Let's take a quick look at converting fractions to decimals. Now, in order to convert fractions to decimals, we have to say hello to our old friend, long division. Yes. No matter what fraction you have, 5/8, whatever, you always divide the numerator by the denominator. And so really you're saying, okay, how many times is 8 going to 5? Well, it doesn't. So we put the decimal, we add a 1. How many times is 8 going to 50? 6 times, and then we keep our process going. Division is how we change fractions to decimals. All right, let's look at some examples. Convert 3/4 to decimal form. So I'm going to put the 3 underneath the division sign, put the 4 outside of it. I'm going to say, how many times is 4 going to 3? It doesn't. How many times is 4 going to 30? 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, and we get 2. Drop another 0. How many times is 4 going to 20? 5 times. And so 3/4 is the same thing as 0.75. You probably knew that, but it's important that you can do this process if you run into one that you don't know. Convert 8/15 to decimal form. All right? I don't know what 8/15 is right off the top of my head, and so I will start to divide. 15 doesn't go into 8. So I'll say, okay, how many times does 15 go into 80? Well, I know that 15 times 5 is 75. So I'll bet that's going to be a 5 right there. When I subtract 80 minus 75, I get 5. Drop a 0. How many times is 15 going to 50? Well, what's 15 times 3? 45. And so we'll subtract, so that's a 3 there. Now we'll get a 5. Hey, wait a second. 15 goes into 50 3 times, and then I'm going to get 45, and I'm going to get a 5 left over. And it's just going to be a repeating and a 3 and a 3 and a 3 and a 3, isn't it? And so 8/15 is the same thing as 0.53 repeating with the repeating bar over the 3. All right? So you can get repeating decimals when you do conversions. All right? That's okay. Sometimes they'll end nice and neat like our 3/4 did, but sometimes they go on forever. All right? Hey, here is a mixed number, 3 3/8. Well, you could just convert the fraction 3/8, and it would be 3 point whatever 3/8 is as a decimal. Let's go ahead and change this to an improper fraction and then take it from there. All right? So to do an improper fraction, we have to go 8 times 3 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So this is really 27/8. And so we're going to put the 27, remember it's not necessarily the smaller number, it's the top number, the numerator that goes underneath the division sign. Let's put the 8 there. Now how many times does 8 go into 27? Ooh, 24 times. So we didn't have to start the decimal until now. We subtract, we get 3. How many times does 8 go into 3? Well, it doesn't. How many times does 8 go into 30? Well, 8 times 3 is 24, yes, and that's going to be 6 left over. We're going to drop another 0. How many times does 8 go into 60? Well, I think 8 times 60 is, or 8 times 7 is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. Drop another 0. How many times does 8 go into 40? 5 times, and so we get 3.375. All right? That ought to help you convert some fractions to decimals.